Hey guys, we're back with the Screen Team. Thanks for joining us right here on KWOC. It's all about movie reviews. Make sure you check us out. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on the Facebook page, and you can check us out at ScreenTeamPB.com. Right now, I'm being joined by our good friend Brad. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for doing some movie reviews. And what is the film we have for you today?
Meet the Parents, one of my favorites.
Meet the Parents.
I love it.
Why is this film one of your favorites?
I think I can identify with a lot of the situations, maybe not quite as exaggerated as what Ben Stiller's character dealt with in this, but I can identify with these situations.
So what are you saying, man? Are you saying that your father-in-law scares you? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, I've dealt with the scary father-in-law, and yes, I will tell you right now, there have been times where everything I did made it feel like there was nothing I could do to please him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he do like a lie detector test on you?
No, he's not a special agent or a CIA operative or anything like that. He was in the Air Force, but and actually, my father-in-law is actually a very nice guy. But I have had situations where I've come into contact with girlfriends' dads, or even if it be sometimes like a new place of employment. You're not used to anybody there, and they kind of don't know really what to say to you. Everybody can identify with having been in a situation where they don't feel like anything they ever say is received well. Or
I know what you mean.
Fish out of water.
So you love this film. Is this a film that you got to experience in theater, or was it afterwards?
I actually saw it after it came out on video. I hadn't even heard of it. I'm kind of one of those people that I don't really find out about movies until long after they've been out. I'm kind of I don't know what really you call that kind of person. Yeah. But I saw it, and I was kind of sleepy whenever I started watching it, and I wasn't planning on watching it, and then I got so hooked into it, I thought, I can feel this guy's pain. I can feel Greg Focker's pain. And I just had to say that. That's one of the things I love about it.
Yeah. Let's talk about one of the key elements in this film, and one of the key elements is, I think, and you agree with this too, is the chemistry with the characters, don't you think?
I think the characters were superb for this, and there were some people that don't really get picked a lot for some of the mainstream movies nowadays. Blythe Danner's known, but she really doesn't get picked for a lot of movies, and she's usually a supporting character. Mm-hmm. But as an example of a character that's a little well known, but she actually has great chemistry, she plays the part of the mother who really kind of digs the future son-in-law, and she's trying to be the peacemaker between the dad who hates him and who's basically suspicious of him and everyone else. And I don't know, she just does such a good job at that. I mean, she has found her niche. If she could just play a role like that every time, she would be picked for every movie. And Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro, they played like they're button heads in the movie, but they were great friends off the camera. From what I've heard, they just cut up a lot, and they're pretty much the big jokesters on the set. So really, the chemistry was there to produce not only the friendship that they needed off the screen, but then they carried that over to being good at interacting on the screen. I've never seen such a movie that actually makes me feel like I'm in it like this does.
And they did a lot of ad-libbing. A lot of the characters did ad-libbing in this.
They did. A lot of the script was, it wasn't set in stone. Ben Stiller has some experience, I think, as a stand-up comedian, and he had a TV show back in the 90s. I think it was called The Ben Stiller Show. It only lasted part of a season, but he does have some stand-up background. De Niro probably doesn't, but De Niro's De Niro. I mean, you can't really, make a substitute for that.
That's true.
Yeah.
So do you have any? There's a lot of good scenes in this. Do you have any favorite scenes?
One of my favorite scenes of the entire movie is just, and this is something that a lot of people would say, I don't even remember that, but one of the scenes that capture how good of actors these people are is when Ben Stiller's character, Greg Focker, finally shows up to meet the parents. When he first shows up at the beginning of the movie, he doesn't know whether he should hug everybody or shake their hands,
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody's been in that situation. It doesn't have to be with family. And in the look on his face, I don't know if he actually felt that nervous when he was acting, but his face just looked like it just looked that kind of sheepish. He's trying to be polite, but he's starting to feel like he's an idiot right there in front of everybody.
Right.
He just the facial expressions, and you can't fake that. I mean, that shows good talent right there.
I have, I've seen this movie several times like you have, and there's times where I had to fast forward through some of these scenes just because, I like Greg. I don't want to see him go through this stuff. I don't want to see him mess up, but he keeps messing up. Like, the scene where he burns down the altar or whatever like
Yeah,
that,
That's an example of one of those out there things. Nobody ever does that. Right. For one thing, who knows anybody that builds altars like that
Yeah.
in all this situation. But yeah, I've never had anything like that happen. But what could make a bad situation worse is burning the altar that's going to be used in the wedding in a few days. Yeah.
Now, Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller are good friends, and they're both in this film. Right. And I thought Owen Wilson was hilarious in this film.
Owen Wilson is another fine actor. And actually, Owen Wilson movies in general are movies that I kind of lump in with Ben Stiller. Actually, both of them are part of the Frat Pack. Mm-hmm. And, it's kind of a comparison to the old, or throwback to the old Brat Pack. But I think it even includes Will Ferrell and Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson's brother. But they have a great chemistry, and I actually think they're real good friends off screen as well. You'll see a lot of Ben Stiller's movies that Owen Wilson cameos in, or vice versa.
Yeah. Okay, Meet the Parents, I think, is rated PG-13. Are we right there?
PG-13. The only thing I think that causes it to be that is the last name, the Fokker last name, and that's stressed in there, I guess, quite a bit. So if it wasn't for that, it would probably be down to a PG. But it's not really a filthy movie. It just that last name is what bumps it up there. But
so, do you think this is a film that families can watch? I mean, where do you draw the line at?
That's something that I have twins. They're not anywhere near old enough to understand a word that comes out of anybody's mouth at this point, but I would feel comfortable with my kids watching that. I mean, when they get to be about that age, they're going to have heard what words that those could be implied to mean, and absolutely, I think it's a clean family movie.
All right, there you go. The movie is called Meet the Parents, and of course, it's one of those you can find on DVD. We like to do a lot of personal films out there to remind the audience about just some really good films out there you might have forgot. So, Meet the Parents, you can find it on DVD. Coming up after the break, we're going to review a film called A Dog's Purpose. It's brand new. We'll talk about it next on KWOC.